Hey guys, Steve with Belt of Truth Ministries. I'm on the line with Luke Gilkerson. Luke's the Educational Resource Manager for Covenant Eyes and author of multiple ebooks, including Coming Clean, Your Brain on Porn, and When Your Child is Looking at Porn. So, Luke, what's the one piece of advice that you'd give to someone struggling with porn addiction?
Well, the one piece of advice I would give for someone who is really struggling with porn addiction would come out of a single verse in the Bible, 2 Timothy 2:22, which states, "So flee youthful passions and pursue righteousness, faith, love, and peace, along with those who call on the Lord from a pure heart." I think this verse is probably the most succinct strategy that is stated in the scriptures about dealing with pornography, dealing with lust. And it kind of gives a three-pronged strategy. And that three-pronged strategy is can be simply stated as run from, run to, and run with. I'll unpack all three of those. What I mean by run from is it says flee. It says flee from the catalysts of the problem. So that might be ditching the sources of your porn habit, changing the environment to eliminate both the external and the internal triggers for porn, training your mind and eyes to have an escape plan when temptations come along. So whether that's visually fleeing, mentally fleeing, physically fleeing, we need to get in the habit of anytime danger comes and anytime we find ourselves in that situation where there's going to be insurmountable temptations, that we need to look for the escape route that God has planned for us and that we had marked out and planned uh, long before the temptation ever came along. So we need to get in the habit of fleeing. The second thing is we need to run to. He says there, pursue something. You're not just running away from something, you're pursuing something. You're not just emptying your heart of desire and emptying your heart of passion and emptying your heart of any sort of pleasure in your life. You're actually pursuing something. You're pursuing holy and wholesome habits that replace the addiction. So that's engaging in new passions that trump the allure of sin. We should be engaging our souls and minds and body in prayer, in gratitude, in selfless service, all the things that pertain to what he says there: faith, love, peace, and righteousness. We need to be pursuing those things. So we need to be giving ourselves to wholesome habits. We need to be giving our some of those habits can be, even secular in terms of, whether it's just exercise or reading or whatever. But those habits can also be thoroughly ingrained in the work of the kingdom. So that's going out and helping, serving, praying for others, meeting the needs of others, getting away from that habit of objectification that turn people into objects for your pleasure, and move towards a kind of lifestyle that is serving others and helping others and um, giving real service to their lives, giving real value to their lives. So that would be the second thing. The third thing is he says run with, where he says along with those people, along with those who call on those from a pure heart, calls on the Lord from a pure heart. This is where we have to have companions who are relying on God for freedom. These could be Christian accountability partners who can not only call us out on our sin, but can call us up to the people God is making us to be, to the people God has already made us to be in Christ. This means Christian discipleship, walking with those who are older in the faith, who can mentor us and guide us. It also means running with even perhaps someone who's specialized in some of this stuff. If you find that the nagging habit of porn just doesn't seem to want to break, walking with those, running with those who have a who are either counselors or people who are wise in this area, who can help to unpack the things in your heart that you are either unwilling to see or unable to see that are driving the addiction to pornography. All three things I think are essential. We need to have all three things in place. Running from that, the kind of that fleeing mentality is a sort of a first line of defense, a nuts and bolts strategy that says we need to have an escape route in place. We need to create an environment where porn isn't, we're not surrounded in the objects of our temptation all the time. We need to treat sin seriously. We need to treat temptation seriously. That's that fleeing mentality. The second is that pursuit. If we don't have the pursuit along with the fleeing, if we don't pursue something wholesome and holy, to replace the pornography, then we're just going to either go back to the porn or we'll go back to some other socially acceptable sin. And then we have to have the running with. We have to be going with others who can help us. One of the greatest means of grace we've ever been given by God is the gift of the church, the gift of Christian friendship, the gift of accountability, the gift of discipleship, other Christians who can walk alongside of us and help us in the battle against temptations that we face. And it is a means of grace in order to do that. So all three are really important, and they're all contained in one verse in the Bible. I would recommend any person to memorize this verse and then unpack all three of those strategies one by one and decide how they're going to attack each of those things as they're pursuing purity in their life.
Great. So run from, run to, and run with. I like it. That's one of the
That's right.
most succinct summing up of recovery that I've heard. I like that advice. Thanks, Luke. So tell people where they can find out more about your ministry and what you're doing.
Well, Covenant Eyes is a software company that's been around for about 15 years now, and our goal is to change people's lives through internet accountability, to give them a sense of freedom from the nagging temptations and habits that they can run into online, and to do so through redemptive relationships, to do so through accountability relationships. We do that by providing an internet report for those who need, where we'll monitor all the activity that's on your computer or your smartphone or your tablet, any devices that you use. We monitor where you're going online. We compile all that information into an easy-to-read report that's emailed to accountability partners that you choose, people you trust to help you. For a lot of people, the report is a great catalyst for conversation, which means if for some reason they just keep going back to porn again and again, the report's a great place to start in a conversation with a counselor, a pastor, accountability partner, to help to get to the bottom of what's going on. And for a lot of people, the report, or just the knowledge that the report's going to be sent, is enough to keep temptation at bay. They think twice about where they're going online, and they can kick the habit even without having to go to somewhere objectionable online and their friends finding out about it and that kind of thing. They just think twice before they go anywhere, and that is enough to keep porn and the temptation for looking at porn at bay. And they can learn all about our services and what we do, as well as the dozen or so free ebooks that we have available. All is available at covenanteyes.com.
Great. And I'll just add, if you want some practical tools to really help you with the running from and the running with, Covenant Eyes is a great resource for that. It helps with both of those. So Luke, thanks again for your time. I really appreciate your ministry, and keep up the great work.
Great. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay. See ya.